Hi everyone, in today's tutorial we will be making this bandana cowl. It's a really beautiful pattern that works really fast and I think it's great for markets and gifts because it sort of has this handmade look just because of this braid in the middle that I adore this project. Like it came out much better than I thought it would. I'm going to leave the link down in the description below for the tutorial if you want to read it. Also, if you enjoy my patterns, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Leave me your like if you enjoy this project and let's get started. So to make the tassels, I'm also gonna be using this tool. This tool is really helpful and I'm going to leave the link down in the description below for this tool here because you can make pompons and also tassels, a great tool. This one, I'm gonna show you how to use it at the end of this tutorial, okay? And I'm going to be using my Centro 48 for this project. So to start making our bandana cowl, we're gonna start with waste yarn and casting on 5 stitches this way. Only 5 stitches, make sure it goes underneath the lip before you put in the yarn guide. I'm going to be holding the yarn with my hands to work on the panel mold, okay? Then make 3 extra rows. Like this. Put this yarn in there. Also, always make sure the loops are way down on the bottom before you make the stitches, okay? That's gonna avoid the falling off the stitches falling from the needles, okay? Put the yarn you're gonna use on, and we are going to make this row 2 times, okay? So 1. See how they tend to stay on the top? Just put them to the bottom and you're not gonna drop them. Always go one further and pull the yarn with your finger once you come back. Once you make your way back, okay? Just so the tension is right on the edges. Okay, now I made my 2 rows and now I'm going to start increasing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 2 extra needles, but I'm only gonna make 1 stitch, okay? So on the way back, this yarn is gonna come out of this needle here, and I'm going to make my way back, increasing this 1 needle. And then again on the other side, this way, okay? And then I'm going to keep doing this. Increase again. And then increase 1 more. Always making sure, don't forget to put these loops way down on the bottom there. Now guys, if you don't know how to make panels and panels are really hard for you, I made a special course and it's on my website. You can go ahead and follow that course, only $17. And it's a 2 hours course of how to use panels properly, okay? So go ahead and do that if you can't use panels yet, because panels are so useful, guys. You can make so many things. And it's also more economic because you're not using double layers for everything, so I highly recommend. Like, you're gonna spend money on my course and then you're gonna save money on yarn because you're gonna be using half of the yarn. Even for blankets, you can make a blanket on a panel instead of making many tubes. And that way you're gonna spend less of half of the yarn, you know what I mean? okay, and then I'm gonna come back with you guys to show you what I'm doing next. I increased for the last time here, and then I went all the way back to where I started, and I'm gonna make just an extra row here with no increasing. And when I reach the end here, I'm going to start casting on these last few stitches. So the way I'm going to do that is just weaving in and out of the needles like you do on the beginning until you reach that first stitch. Okay, and then put through. Make sure this last needle grabs the yarn, and then you can start working on the panel mode, on the tube mode now. Put your counter back to 0, and we are going to make 31 rows here, okay? Just make sure you don't drop any stitches there, but you should be fine making them, okay? Also, place a marker here in this the last stitch that you cast on later, that you cast on before, this one here. So you know when you finish the 30 rows, that's the last stitch you're gonna make, okay? So after row 30, just stop here. This is gonna be the last stitch you are making. And then put the yarn inside, make a full row without the yarn. So stop on this one just before the tail, otherwise this one will come out of the needles and you're gonna drop it. So before you do that, before you go all the way to this one, just make sure you grab these first stitches. Okay, so this is how our bandana looks like now. As you can see, it has the triangle shape we want it. So let's bind off on this side so we can get rid of the yarn tail. Now, after we removed our bandana, what we are going to do is just bind off these stitches very loosely. So put the hook through this first stitch that has the tail, and then you can remove the tail, the other waste yarn tail, and pull the waste yarn tail until it's very short so we can work easier with the stitches. And now put the hook through this one, and then you can either single crochet or slip stitch. I'm going to slip stitch one, and then I'm going to chain one just to make sure this is not gonna be tied on our neck later, so I'm going to chain one in between them, okay? And then slip stitch, chain one, slip stitch, chain one. Repeat this throughout the top part of it, and then I'll come back with you to make the braid in the middle, and then to finish the bottom of this bandana and make the edge around it as well. As you can see, it's very, very stretched, so will fit your neck, and that's just because of that last row with the chain in the middle, okay? And because this is gonna curl, it doesn't really matter, these little holes here won't show. Or you can either make an extra row here with a crochet edge that you prefer or something like that. I'm just gonna leave like this, and it's gonna curl and show the purl stitches of the bottom, okay? Now to make this drop stitch part, what I'm going to do is put the stitches through a tail like we had before, or this stitch holder here. And I'm going to grab not in that first one because I can only see 4 stitches here, but in the second one I'm going to grab stitch by stitch, so I have them all here secured. Then you can close this and remove the waste yarn. Is the next stitch that we started, where we started to increase. Okay, so I'm going to be working only with the 3 stitches in the middle, and that's the ones I'm going to drop. And I want to drop it all the way, I don't know, you can drop it all the way to the top, or you can drop it all from here to here, so you can just follow along this marker here and see where you started making the neck part of it, which was around here. Now I'm going to leave the first one and the last one here secured, and then I'm going to open the 3 middle ones. From the 3 last stitches there, and then I got to my marker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the first one first, put the hook through this one, and then put the hook through the next one, and then put the hook through the third one this way. So I wanted the first one, the middle one in the front, and that's why I did that. And now start making. It's gonna be a little hard in this first one. You have to grab this first loop on the back here, and then just make it. And then make sure you put them in order so they're not wrong. I'm going to make two each time, okay? So grab the 2 of them, pull through. Now I just placed this the other way because I'm gonna bind off the stitches using this tail that I had on the beginning. And then put the hook through the second one. Just be careful not to lose that one, if that's what you did, just like me. And then pull through both. Pull through both. You can hear on this last one, I sometimes like to pull this way. Otherwise, this is gonna be way too loose there. Okay. And also to avoid curling, as you can see, this curling. So I'm going to make a full row of single crochets around the entire piece. Spoon like this. And go inside each one of the loops you have. Okay, so go all around here and here, just picking up that stitches that you kind of have to bind off, okay? And now I'm grabbing each loop. As you can see, there's this yarn that runs through each one of them. I'm going to lightly cut this off and just make a knot to remove it. And then here, just make sure these loops are really wide. All we are doing is really the same stitch. I'm actually making slip stitch here, just when I'm binding off the stitches, okay? So I'm going to cut this yarn here, because I can make a knot with this tail here. And then I'm going to find where this yarn is on the other side. And I think it is, yeah. Just make a knot here once you see that's yeah, this is the last stitch, so just make a knot on the back here and on the back with this one as well. Now to make my tassel, I'm going to use this tool here. It's a very easy tool, and if I was you, I would buy, because it's just great. It makes pom-poms, as you can see, and it makes tassels as well. The instructions are really easy to follow here, so I'm gonna be making this now. Make sure you thread just a little bit of tail on a darning needle, and then put this little hole to the top. All you have to do is really count the rows, so put the yarn here and inside the two little holes to just secure it. And then start making loops just like this. So your finger's gonna guide the yarn, because you have to be, but for the tassel we're gonna be working only in the middle, really. And it's good to count the number you make, because then you're gonna have always the same size of tassel, okay? Otherwise, I didn't count, so I'm just guessing here. I think it's probably fine now, so I'm going to stop here. You can just cut the yarn. Okay, and I'm gonna remove this first. Remove this. And then with this darning needle, we're gonna put through here. And then just make a knot. This is gonna be the tail you're gonna use to attach to the cowl later, okay? Just make a safe knot there. Make sure it's tied as well. So if you have someone to put a finger there, it's a great idea. Okay, just like this. Flip it over. And this tool is perfect because it fits perfectly the scissors through the hole that it has on the bottom there. And just cut it. Remove from the tool. And now to attach, just choose a place you want it to attach. Already did on the bottom. I'm going to give a little bit of space and put it around here, I think. So just pull one of the tails. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna make one more, and just to show you guys how it looks like on me. I really love this project. It's a beautiful and easy project. It's perfect for markets, I think, because it's an item that almost looks like it's handmade, and so I think it would be a perfect choice for markets. So guys, make sure you like the video if you like this content. It doesn't cost anything and it helps me a lot. I'm going to leave the links for the yarn that you can use as well, and for this tool down the description below. I see you on the next tutorial, guys. Thank you all for watching again. Thank you for subscribing all to my channel, and thank you for being here as well. I see you in the next tutorial.